Good morning, all my friends. It is Friday, May 8th, 2020. I hope you all have had a wonderful week. This weekend, Sunday, is a very special day. It's Mother's Day, the day that we all take the time to thank our mothers and tell them that we love them, which we should do every day anyway, but it's a special day. Today I'm going to show you two different ways to do resistance painting. Now, resistance painting is when you do one drawing with a substance and then do a second painting over it, and the two resist each other, so they go away from each other. The first one we're going to do is going to use crayons and watercolor, and the second one is going to use rubber cement and acrylic paint. So I hope that this will give you some good ideas, is maybe for something that you could use to make a card for your mothers. So let's turn around and get started. Let's get this adjusted a little bit here. Here we are. All right. Here is the first one that we're going to do using crayons and watercolor. Now you can see here we just have a nice white sheet of paper. I like to do it on white because I think it gives it an extra pop once you do it. And the two colors that I'm going to use today are red and white. Now the white might be a little hard to see while you're drawing with it, but if you hold the paper up to a light at kind of an angle, you can see the shine off the wax. So I'm just going to do a nice design, hearts, maybe, I think I'll write I love you perhaps. So let's come on in and do that. Nice big heart shape in white. Come down here and write Mom, I love you, exclamation points. Do a little scroll there. Then we can take red. You can use really any colors. What's neat about this is that the crayons are made out of wax. So wax and water can't mix. So when we paint our watercolors over them, the color will slide off of the wax and only adhere to the paper. So you can, again, you can do, oh, I don't know. It's Mother's Day. We love our moms. Let's do some more hearts. Just like this. I think I might do another heart in the middle of our big one. And I'm going to color it in. So that whole heart should let the watercolor slide off of it and leave that spot white. You can draw anything you want, any shapes, write whatever you want. You can draw you and your mom together, however you would like to do it. Just going to do a nice simple one right now. After you have drawn with your wax crayons, you come back and you get your watercolors. Now what I have right now are just my daughter's watercolors, so they're a little bit muddled, but that's okay. We're gonna get some good stuff out of it anyway. So just use a little bit of water. Don't need a lot. I'm gonna try light blue, so I'm gonna get a little bit of blue on my brush. And then we're just gonna do a big sweeping wash across and see what happens where the crayon is. Now look at that. You see how as the paint goes over the wax, it slides off because the wax resists the water that's in the paint. Now, it wouldn't work as well if you weren't using watercolors. The wax does great with watercolors. That's why with our other one that I'm going to show you, I'm going to use something different. I'm going to use acrylics. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. So come on down to the bottom. I added a little bit of yellow this time, but the yellow's not really showing up very good. Let's try to get some more. Oh, still not. So maybe I'll switch over to some green. See if that'll give me a little more coverage. Not really looking like it right now. Apparently these are pretty dried out too. There we go. Now we're starting to see some green. And there you can see the message that we wrote at the bottom is resisting the water. And we can see now, Mom, I love you. So this is the first one, using crayons and watercolor. The next one that I want to do is a little more time consuming. So I have done one already that I can show you what it's going to look like as we take stuff away, as we remove the rubber cement. So we just have rubber cement. And for this, I want to use a Q-tip to apply the rubber cement. You could either get it from the brush, or you can dip the Q-tip in there if it's not so empty that you can't get it down there. So you just get some rubber cement on your Q-tip and you draw a picture with that. Now, rubber cement is a glue, so it sticks to the paper and bonds with it, and whatever you paint over it will not be able to get down and touch the paper because the rubber cement has blocked it off from being touched by the paint. So I'm just doing a heart here. I'm not going to do a lot of this because, as I said, this one takes a little bit more time. But that's the idea. So with the rubber cement, because it's not as precise, a lot of times it's better to do just big shapes, big colors, or big shapes, so that when you do your big colors, it shows a little bit easier. Fill that in some. And then with this one, you have to let this dry completely. After it's dried completely, you can come back with paints, any kind of paint that you would like. Acrylic, should be able to use tempera on this, anything you want. Get some paint on it and just paint whatever you would like to. I have already done that with one, so I'm going to bring it over here now. I think it's mostly dry. Hopefully this will be good. So as you can see on this one, I just did red at the top, blue at the bottom, and they blended into a purple. I only did half the page because I want to fold this over and make it into a card when I'm done. For this next step, once the paint is completely dried, you can either use, I have this from a while ago, this is called a rubber cement eraser, or you can just use your fingers. Rubber cement is a special kind of glue because it can be rubbed off after it's dried. So let's start with my fingers, see if I can get that to work. Start here at the bottom. I've already gone a little bit. Wherever you painted with the rubber cement, just rub it. And the rubber cement is going to come off. Now, wherever the rubber cement wasn't, the paint's going to stay. So there's a Y. What do you think I'm saying down here at the bottom? I bet you can figure it out. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to my rubber cement eraser because it goes a little bit faster. Just keep rubbing around. And wherever you didn't do a really thick coat of the rubber cement, some paint will go through and seep into it, but it's still a really neat effect even when it's not completely coated. You can still see the shapes, the letters that you were doing. So have you. I don't really remember where I put the rest of these things. Did this a little while ago, let it dry. But I've got a general idea. And again, the thicker that you do the rubber cement, the more coverage it's going to be and the less of the paint that will be able to seep through and get under it. There's my E. Okay. Well, it's kind of an E. None of it's very precise. It doesn't need to be. It's a card to show how much you love and appreciate your mom. This can also be done anytime for art. And up here at the top, I should have a heart, or a couple hearts. So just keep rubbing around on it. A little time consuming, but pretty neat to see it reveal itself as you're rubbing it. One heart, two hearts. Just like that. You can also use a paintbrush for the rubber cements if you want to have a little more control over it. But if you do use a paintbrush on it, you're going to want that paintbrush only to be for glue, because you really won't be able to get this glue out of the bristles. After you've rubbed the cement off, you just kind of go across with your hand and get all the little beads of cement off. And there you have it. A nice card for mom. You can fold it, write a nice message inside, and give it to mom on Mother's Day, Sunday. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I'm looking forward to talking to you in a few minutes for our Sharebox call, and I will talk to you again very soon.